We're going to take a look at Chapter 10, Part 1, and this is all about something called the zero product property. So to get started, we are going to take a quadratic equation, y equals 2x squared plus 5x minus 12, and we are going to factor this out. So the first thing we're looking for, is there GCF in each of these terms besides a 1? If there is, we want to take that out. If not, in this case we don't have anything, we are going to automatically set up the diamond and the rectangle. So we talked about this back in Chapter 8. The first term goes in the bottom left. The last term goes in the top right. We multiply these two together to get the top of the diamond. And then the bottom of the diamond is that middle term. So we want two numbers that multiply to give us negative 24x squared, but add to give us 5x. So we can calculate that. That's going to be 8x and negative 3x. And we're going to plug them back in. And again, it does not matter which spot we put it into the rectangle. And we want to find the dimensions of this rectangle. So looking at the rectangle, my first column here, I have 8x and 2x squared. My greatest common factor is a 2x. And then we can work backwards. What times 2x is 2x squared? Well, that's going to be an x. What times x is negative 3x? So that's going to be a negative 3. And then what here times 2x is 8x? That's going to be a 4. So our factors are going to be x plus 4 times 2x minus 3. And we're going to set this equal to 0 because we want to find our solutions. So what happens is, back in Chapter 8, we just factored it, and we said, okay, we got the parentheses, now we're done. But now that we're solving, we are going to set each parenthesis equal to 0. We're going to take x plus 4 equals 0, and 2x minus 3 equals 0. So we're going to solve for x. So x is equal to negative 4. Add 3 over here. 2x equals 3, divide by 2. So x is equal to 1.5, or you could leave it as a fraction, 3 over 2. So we are going to write this as an x-intercept. So we will have an ordered pair with negative 4, comma, 0, and 1.5, comma, 0. So we are finding the solutions, which we call the x-intercepts. They're also called the zeros, or they're called the roots of the equation. Okay, we're going to look at another example, and we have 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 equals 0, and we are going to factor this out. So we are looking for two numbers that multiply to give us negative 6x squared, but add to give us 5x. So you can think about the two combinations that would work or might not work. So we have a 2 times 3, and we have a 6 times 1. 6x times negative 1x will work out nicely. Plug them back in, and then we want to find the dimensions of our rectangle. So once you find the factors, so we'll have x plus 2 times 3x minus 1 equal to 0. We are going to set each of these parentheses equal to 0 and solve for our x-intercepts. So we'll subtract 2. So x is going to be equal to negative 2. So we can say negative 2, comma, 0. And then on the other factor, we'll add 1 to both sides and divide by 3. So x is equal to a third. So the other x-intercept is a third, comma, 0. This next example, we are missing the last term. We have x squared plus 6x equals 0, and we want to use the zero product property to find the x-intercepts. So first thing we're going to do is look to see, is there a GCF? And there is. We can take an x out of both of these terms. So when we take out an x, we are left with x and then x plus 6 in parentheses. And since we factored it out, we can stop here and then take each of our factors and set them equal to 0. So x is equal to 0, and x is going to be equal to negative 6. So our x-intercepts will be 0, 0, and negative 6, comma, 0. So you don't always have to do a diamond and a rectangle to get the factors. This next example is 2x squared plus 2x minus 12, and we want to start by looking for greatest common factor. And hopefully you notice that all of them can be divisible by 2. So since this is an equation, we can now divide all parts by 2. So this becomes x squared plus x minus 6 equals 0. So that 2 we don't have to worry about anymore, that's gone. So now we can set up our diamond and our rectangle. We need two numbers that multiply to give us negative 6x squared, but add to give us x. So 3x and negative 2x will do just that. We can find the dimensions of our rectangle. So we have x plus 3 as a factor and x minus 2 equals 0. So we can solve x plus 3 equals 0 is x equals negative 3. So one of our intercept points is negative 3, 0. The other point, x minus 2 equals 0. If we add 2 to both sides, x is equal to 2. So 2, 0 would be our other x-intercept point.